gonna get hot today. Grab an ice cold sun drop and show us how you drop it.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
And drop it.
Cause I got it going on. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
A thirst-quenching citrus soda just dropped, coast to coast. Sun drop.
That's how you drop it.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's
Yeah, it's not working. We'll worry about it.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the ISCA Live. We are here at Darlington Raceway tonight. I am Jola Castro, Jolo up in the booth, joined by Big Al and Sheldon Atkins, and down in the truck, it's Kobe Jordan. Almost said Kobe Jackson. Kobe Jordan. Sorry about that, Kobe. Nice to have everybody here. Hope you guys are ready for 183 laps with 2 stops along the way. Let's take it away, though, with we got a few things to get through before the race officially kicks off. Big Al, are you ready for this?
Ready for... Yeah, I'm ready. Darlington?
All right. Yeah.
I mean, okay. In my defense, is anybody really ever ready for Darlington Speedway? I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, this chick's got an attitude.
Yeah?
I beg to differ, man. We could run this race 365 days of the year, and I'd be completely content.
Yeah, maybe it's just
Absolutely.
South Carolina. I think that's what my problem is.
No, that is problematic. I have to agree with that. But if you look at the layout itself and the drive of the track and the history behind it and all the cool stuff that we get out of Darlington for throwbacks and some really close quarters racing based on tire wear, I could do it every day of the year.
Well, we do get a chance to do it. Hey, Sheldon, this for me and you, this is the 3rd time around this week, so at least you're getting a chance to do it this way. But we've seen a lot of different results out of this track, and as you just heard, we're going to have a lot of different results on this race too. There's a lot of different possibilities, for this race too. You just saw the conditions going up. Right now, we're going to give you, I think next we're going to do the keys to the race. Is that right? Let's get those up on screen. And Sheldon, you want to walk us through them?
All right, number 1, you're trying to bring this old lady in black home this week. You're going to want to pay her some respect. Get out there, be smooth, calculated, precise. You don't want to be too ragged around the edges here. Just got to keep it between the lines, so to speak, and keep the car in one piece. It's going to be a really difficult night. You're going to see a lot of guys bouncing off the wall, being over aggressive, over assertive with their throttle and brake inputs. It takes a smooth hand to get around this place. Number 2, pick your passing opportunities wisely. Now, when I say that, when you're going to 1 and 2, you're going to want to be as precise as you possibly can, but you're also going to want to be obvious with your maneuvers. You don't want to send it into turn 1 and, just pull a bonsai last-second kamikaze move into the first corner, because as soon as you do that, the guy that you're trying to pass isn't going to realize that you're there until it's too late. Then the both of you are going to be tagged up into the wall, probably about 2-3 cars behind you wrapped in it too, because nobody can pass on the apron through 1 and 2, and it'll be very difficult. Try to set up for 3 and 4, using 1 and 2 to kind of spring you down the straightaway to get to them. And then most importantly, and this isn't something we talk about most weekends, but this track is the one place where the give and take philosophy pays dividends. If you get up there and you get a fast car, you want that guy to get by you quick. But if that guy comes back to you and he's quicker than you want to get out of the way pretty quick, because you guys get hung up racing each other for too long. The rest of the hounds are going to be there at your feet, and you're going to be in a lot of trouble real quick.
Well, that's all important things. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, and back to you, Sonny Jola Castro.
Sonny Joe. I kind of like that one. I think I might take it and run with it. We've got a little bit of time here. Let's see if we can get our picks out really quick before we go to the national anthem. I
like
ran with
Sonny Joe.
Yeah, I like that too. I'm gonna run with Paul Hill this week. I just got a feeling that he's got it in him. I don't know. Something about him jumped off on the list to me. How about you, Al?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Greg Wachinski, man. I was over there in the G&G hangout prior to the race, just trying to get a little pre-race interview going. And man, Wachinski was saying he's been here a long time and he's long in the tooth. And he said if he ain't gonna start winning, he's gonna start wrecking them. So I with a quote like that, I just had to go ahead and throw my name in there for G. Wachinski.
Oh, good pick there. Jolo took my pick from me, but I got to go with him. I got to double down. I got to double down with Paul Hill this evening. The 26 machine. Not only does he have an incredibly crisp-looking Dr. Pepper throwback, but this, every week we talk about how courteous and respectful Paul is, how laid back and just precise he is on his inputs. Always working his way at the end. I feel like this is a track that's really going to favor that drive.
Well, you guys are picking him based on his paint scheme.
Well, that's a part of it.
Just on a good feeling. And down under, Kobe Jordan, our producer, has a pick as well. What is that going to be?
Week in, week out, Passalacqua. That's my man.
Passalacqua. All right. So you've heard it all here from the team. The number 6 Passalacqua now up there on your screens. We've made our picks. Have you made yours, folks? If you're watching right now, go ahead and reach out into that chat. Let us know what you guys are up to in terms of your predictions for tonight's race from Darlington. We're going to get the national anthem here kicked off in just a few minutes, I think. But first, let's do some results from the series point standings. Oh, I got that written down right here, too. Point standings. Let's do that here. Patrick Gitter, current points leader. Matt DiCiani in second. Derek Heitman in third. Brandon Passalacqua in fourth. Paul Hill in fifth. Joey Preby in sixth. Tim Wortman in seventh. Clayton Hoffman in eighth. Randy Mullins in ninth. And Brian Johnson in 10th. Now, there's 2 names on there I want to mention really quickly we won't be seeing in tonight's race. They have been suspended for 1 race. I believe that's Randy Mullins and Joey Preby. We had a little bit of a situation last week.
You think? A little bit of a situation.
Yeah, just a little bit. Man, I wish we had highlights from last week saved up in here.
Look, Sheldon, you and I there, man, I'm just going to say I'm surprised it was only a week. I think that's a little lenient in my opinion, but anyway.
Well, I just got to tell you, it's a good thing that people don't get out of the car and drive over to your house after these things, because those two would have absolutely thrown down the way that they were talking, the way they were carrying on the track. But that's last week.
Yeesh.
Here we are this week at Darlington. Give these guys a little week to cool down, get their thoughts about them, and see what they do moving forward.
In short track races, they do tend to bring out the worst in everybody. You're right. Tonight, I'm wondering, though, how many people are going to go over there and try to smack this lady around and find out that, yeah, she doesn't tend to that either. I think at the end of this race, it's going to be a little bit of the different. I think a lot of guys are going to go out here tonight and they're going to earn their stripes, if you will. And at Darlington, that's not necessarily a good thing. But I will guarantee you it's going to be a pretty good race. I don't know what the over-unders for cautions are, but man, I think I threw mine in there. What we got?
I'm not
6.
expecting many, man. I'd go with 4. Not counting stage, I'd go with 4 cautions. Darlington.
Stages, yeah.
I picked 4. But see, our stage breaks don't count for the cautions. Let's keep that.
I know, but stage breaks don't count, but yeah. I know that they don't count, but in my mind, sometimes they change the rhythm of how people drive. And so I'm thinking about like restarts with how many stage breaks. We have 2 stage breaks tonight. I think we saw it briefly there in the conditions when they popped up on the screen. Let me go ahead and pull up when those stage breaks are going to be happening, just so you guys back at home know what's going on here. We've got 2 stage breaks, one at 38 and one at 66 tonight. So that's where we're going to be seeing things break up, and we're on 100% fuel. So those first 2 stage breaks are going to be really interesting.
Now, I've got an important question here, because I've covered enough races here at the Lady in Black the past couple of years to kind of notice that there is a resounding trend. And that resounding trend is close, tight battles for the finish, photo finishes even. What's the overrun? What do you guys think? What are you betting here? You betting we're going to have a nice battle in the closing laps to finish this thing off, or are we going to have a walk-off?
Yeah, this will be just like last week. How about that?
There you go.
I'm gonna go with the. I'm gonna take the high end and go with the walk off on this one. I think if there's gonna be a crash, it might be on the last lap, but it's gonna be behind the lead.
I'm gonna go with a tight battle, and the reason why I'm saying that isn't because I'm expecting a caution or anything to come out at an awkward time for this thing. I just know how the tires work at this place. It always seems that the guy that's up at the front with 15 laps to go has just cooked a little bit too much out of that right side, and a guy in second place sitting there taking it nice and slow typically tends to rise himself to the top and getting the opportunity to throw a bumper or maybe a quarter pound to somebody down the straightaway and give us a classic throwback Kurt Busch, Ricky Craven kind of scenario.
And here we go. The national anthem is now playing. Let's take a moment and listen to that.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Driver, start your engine!
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Here we go, folks. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe, ring that bell, because the ISCA has gotten plenty of racing all the way through the summertime too. So we got plenty coming up, and right now we've got the grid. Let's go ahead and break it down. Your pole position right now is going to be Derek Heitman. Number 2, Patrick Gitter. 3, Paul Hill. 4, Tim Wortman. 5, Josh Schaffner. 6, Brian Johnson. 7, Matt DiCiani. 8, Chris Crosby. 9, Brendan Pasalacqua. And 10, Mark Sanchez. Take it away, Big Al.
And that's going to put Vincent Crowe. Alongside him is going to be Dave Fuge Jr. Starting in 13th place is going to be Jay Honey with Randy Belk on his outside 14th. 15th place shows Sean Signore and Jerry Walters. That's Sean Signore. I'm just going to say it. Sean Signore. 17th place, Randy Drumhiller with Richard Kleinman beside him. Rounding out the top 20, we've got Greg Carr and Alexander Carr. Take it away,
In 21st place, we have Greg Wyszynski with Nick King starting 22nd. 23rd, Chuck Burley with Kenny Powell. The boss man himself in 24th. 25th place is going to be Jeremy Clapper Newell with Jose Medina in 26th. 27th place is going to be John Bender going for that back to front challenge he likes to pull every week. And running up the top, the 28 car field of 9 is going to be David Gervais, so eloquently known by Robert Cook as Gerbil. You ever get a chance to race with Robert Cook and the officials there, Big Al?
That's a negative.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what, they got to talk your ear off, but he'll make you about die laughing halfway through the races. got a nickname. Got a nickname for everybody in the field, and he will drive you nuts before you grow to like him.
I love it.
Who's this?
Absolutely love it.
Robert Cook.
Robert Cook.
Hey, God talks like the Robert Cook over here. He's funny guy. Like not many people like him on the service. You never can make him mad.
Oh,
You just can't get him down.
Give me about 2 minutes up in the booth with anybody, and I'll have them climbing through the windows and pouring themselves in the vents.
There was this time frame back in the day, and I think the statute of limitations is out on this one. But my buddy, a good friend of ours over at Grid Vision, our buddy Justin, we were all on a team together, and it was right when the team racing really started getting rampant on iRacing and really started to get toxic. So what he decided to do was give Robert Cook our setups, because Robert Cook could drive a fast car, but he couldn't hold it straight when he was driving it back then. And kind of used him as a weapon to kind of make things a little easier some weeks.
Yeah, sounds like me now. Had a couple of drivers drop down to the inside, Joe. Looks like those guys are going to be recipients of the EOL. Going to be trying to pick those up a little later on. Looks like the lights are out on the pace car. We're going to be taking this thing green here momentarily. And guys, I'll tell you what, this is probably going to be one of the biggest races here in NASCAR. Probably except for the next time we come back to Darlington. But right now, we're going to give her everything that she's got. Drivers buckled in here. This is going to take us 183 laps at the good old lady in black.
Also, big news here before we go
down
green.
To the inside.
Sorry about that. Take it.
Going to be getting doubled up here. Derek Heitman, Patrick Gitter. Patrick Gitter's to the inside. Heitman waiting. Takes the green flag, waiting. No time to get gone. Heitman still going. Looks like he's going to try to dive down to the inside. Going to try to get the lead. Gitter's coming high to the outside. Going to go ahead and fall back in line. Guys, what you think about the start?
Good clean start. Everybody running single file, a little bit too abreast further through the field, but Derek Heitman up to the lead now. Patrick Gitter just a couple car lengths behind him. One interesting thing to note, though, Tim Wortman in the 83 machine, the Ryko Tide Ride, if you will, this week, gets the EOL here at the start of this thing, and he's already worked himself up in the first lap, back up to the 23rd position. But not quite sure what the EOL penalty was for, possibly something from last week, but a long road for him to climb here to get back through traffic.
Yeah, there were actually 2 handed out.
Last week was, you know, the short races. I mean, guys have been kind of pinned up, and it was going to happen, and surely it did. It kind of came to a head. So here we are, Darlington now, and you kind of see we're really single file racing, like single line racing. I think that's probably a lot of what we're going to see tonight, which would kind of support the low caution picks. I think I threw my hat in the ring at 4.
Looks like we've got some passing going on, though, right now. Nick King on the inside, as on the outside, It's going to be the 58 of Kleinman falling back. He's lost some serious speed. He's giving up place after place. I'm not really sure what's going on there.
Yeah.
But Kleinman is really falling back.
Kleinman got stuffed up on the fence there for a little bit and just kind of lost some momentum, and you're watching how that transpires as he's continuing to struggle. A little bit of damage to the front center valence of that car too. But also one interesting thing to note there, you looked at the two cars that passed him a few minutes ago, Alexander Carr and the 18 machine and the 12 of Nick King, both running respective Davey Allison and Bobby Allison paint schemes, and the 12 machine Nick King given a, if you will, Davey a shot down the back straightaway to help him clear Kleinman right before we put the cameras on him. Pretty neat stuff to see here at Darlington.
You gotta love that Davey and Bobby Allison throwback. Those were the Alabama guys. They were from the Alabama gang. You might remember them. Huck Strickland, also a member of that Alabama gang. Probably not as well known, but yeah, he was still out there. So I would really like to see the throwbacks here tonight, guys. We're going to have to definitely have a little throwback beauty pageant. If you see one down there that you like tonight, let us know what it is. Go ahead and throw it down in the comments. Let us know the driver number and the driver that you think has the best throwback tonight.
You did forget a very, very well-remembered member of the Alabama gang there, too. You forgot old Neil Bonnet, and I do believe that there's also a Neil Bonnet throwback in this field tonight as well.
Well, I didn't forget old Neil. I just let you bring him up.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, O'Neill used to drive the Citgo machine for the Wood Brothers, and there is a Citgo Wood Brothers based paint scheme a little further in the back of the pack. Now, given that could be a Petty throwback or a Bonnet, it could go either way, but good to see the Alabama gang getting representation here.
Gotta love that good old Wood Brothers throwback. Usually it's got a Florida one wrapped around it somewhere. So what's your old favorite throwback to know back?
Mine? Probably not the person to ask. I've only been watching NASCAR now for about a year, remember?
For me,
that's a good point. Yeah,
it's going to be a toss-up between the 25 machine of Greg Carr and that Ken Schrader Kodiak tribute there. It's a car that I feel goes heavily unappreciated. Ken Schrader driver goes heavily underappreciated too. Such a character and such a talent. Still out there kicking kids' butts in dirt cars to this day.
Predator Trader, they called him. Oh, and that Kodiak, I can feel it just eating my gums right now with the fiberglass. Oh, God.
Absolutely. Grab me a pinch real quick. If not him, I go with Paul Hill, the 26 Dr. Pepper throwback. I love the old, obscure, early 2000s Busch Series paint schemes. That was my favorite kind of time capsule of American motorsports, was just the tail end of the 90s into the early 2000s, especially with the Grand National division. And I had a die-cast of that car back when I was a kid. I thought that thing was so cool. And it screams 90s if you look at it.
It's beautiful. Yeah, man. It's a beautiful car. You're talking about Paul Hill, right? In 26?
Absolutely.
Love it. Love it.
I want to say not Bobby. I think it was Ron Hornaday that drove that car back in the day, if I remember correctly.
Wow.
Right now, it's Paul Hill, and he's sitting pretty in third. Patrick Gitter in second, just ahead of him a little bit. But then there's a pretty good gap that Derek Heitman's driven out for himself. Could be driving the tires a little bit hot early on, but he hasn't really been driving the gap any further than about half a second ahead of Patrick Gitter. There's not really much more that he's really putting into the car besides just gaining that gap. It seems like he's just happy to sit there. But Derek Heitman's holding on to the lead right now. And it's been pretty smooth sailing, knock on wood, for these first 12 laps here at Darlington.
Yeah, and I think that's going to continue to be the situation because, Brandon, you can kind of, Sheldon. Why do I call you Brandon? I don't know.
But you're looking at Brandon Pasolacco, probably.
Yeah. Sheldon, you can help me out on this. This is a track that's not really easy to pass on. Drivers are going to go for it, man, but this chick is really kind of loyal. She only likes one lane.
So it's unique how you have to pass here at Darlington. So, every other track you go to, you can kind of just, send it into the bottom last second, going into the corner, kind of, dive bomb your way in there and make it stick and make it work. can't really do that at Darlington, because if you do that, the guy that you're racing, he's going to hit the fence. And odds are he's going to hit you after he's done hitting the fence, and he's probably going to hook you back up in there with him.
Yeah.
Here at Darlington, what you got to do is you got to send it into turns 1 and 2. Try to send it up there a little bit wider than the car in front of you. Try to get clean air on the nose. Keep the momentum up. Build a wide diamond to kind of carry you down the Boeing back straightaway into turn 3. And once you get into 3, you want to send it until you either see Jesus or see the pass. One of the two. That's the main way to get it done here. The other way that you can do it is not as preferred. It'll get you into trouble. It'll raise tempers. But you can try to get a good shot out of turn 4 and try to get down under them into 1 and 2. Because once you get down there, it's going to squirrel them up a little bit. They can't come and use all the track that they need to get out of turn 2. But odds are they're going to hit the fence and they're going to hit you. Then you're getting cussed at and your mom's disappointed in you. It's a rough night. It's a rough night for everybody.
Want to really quickly shout out to Taya Middleton, pardon the pronunciation, want to make sure I get that right, in the chat saying Allison's paints were very good, the Allison's paints were very good, and go Warriors.
Go Warriors. You gotta love that one.
Also,
So anybody else, come on, give us some more shout outs there. Just make our job difficult. Make Joe pronounce hard names. That's the goal here tonight.
Bring it on. I'm ready for it.
One thing I got to allude to you here, though, Joe. Remember last night when we were covering NIS and Heitman finished second, Sean Conklin won the race. And Heitman was talking, he said he was pretty much out to lunch the first half of the week until he sat down with his Ryco teammate, Sean Conklin, and kind of listened to him talk about how you're supposed to get around this place without tearing it off and be good on the long run. And you saw it really shape up for him in the middle of NIS last night after kind of struggling a little bit to start the thing off. I'm wondering if he did a little bit of practice today and really honed in on what he was told by his teammate, and if it looks like it's paying off for him right now because he's got a huge untouchable advantage at the moment.
I'm watching that right now, and I'm seeing Sean Conklin's line a little bit in Derek Heitman, where you get early into the turn, but then you just kind of let it ride a little bit. If you've got the range, you kind of stay low a little bit. It's this turn here, I think.
Hey, can we ride with Derek Heitman? Can we get in there and ride with him and maybe get a look at his gears and his throttle?
That'd be great to see. Yeah, so much momentum that he carries out of that turn.
Yeah, on board, you see him rocking 4th gear, shifting right at the Boeing sign on the back straightaway, ducking it back down into 4th, into 3, trying to keep it down underneath that seam. That was what Conklin had been talking about. Try and keep the tire longevity in it. Out of 4, that start-finish line going to shift again. Nope, going to keep it in 4th all the way through the straightaway. Down nice and tidy, just a little bit of a clip on the apron, then back right up against the fence to build that arc, the momentum to finish the drive off on that second apex out of 2. And down the back straightaway, and that's a lap with the man himself, Derek Heitman.
He is the man right now, guys, totally dominating this thing. But the fastest lap, well, that's going to go back to Tim Wiltman Jr., and he had a 29.436, and we'll best that to Derek Heitman's 29.571. So if that's any indication, well, right now, Heitman having full command of the free air, and that's the clean air, the good air. And he is definitely not wasting any time right now, guys. Got a lap lead out to a 0.8 of a second over the second place car of Patrick Gitter. And just imagine what I'm saying. He's got 0.8 of a second on Gitter. I'll be quiet.
Also, to tell you how hard it is to pass Wortman, we know he's got a fast car. You got the Ryco stickers on the hood and the sides. It kind of just guarantees you that machine's got a lot of speed. But he's right now still stuck mid-pack in the 17th position, right behind Carr in the 18 machine, and not really able to make any moves to advance where he's at the moment. Just kind of at a stall point for now.
Speaking of moves, Brendan Pasalacqua just made the pass on Josh Schaffner. A very snappy pass. Really, really well executed. He had some speed that looked like it came out of absolutely nowhere to get the burst past him there. Right now, that puts Pasalacqua in the top 5. Good spot for him, up 4 from where he started earlier tonight.
Man, it's good to see Josh up here in the top 10 tonight. Not really knowing what's going on with Josh this year here. I've been following this guy for a couple of coin tosses here, man. And Schaffner, the Iceman, I've dubbed him, but he's actually the corn man in real life. you know, he's a front runner, always up here in the top 5, but it's really, really good to see him tonight with that 50 car, the 50 Chevrolet. It's good to see him. You know, another paint scheme. Let's shout it out to him. My main man, Josh Schaffner. Let's give it to him here.
That is a Bill Elliott throwback from when McDonald's had the promotion for, I believe it was Batman Forever.
Whoa, we got some wrecking.
Whoa. You never forget
They're
that
all over.
Death Star.
No,
Are we
no.
still green?
Looks
Green
like
flag
it's
is still on the
green.
speedway.
That's the one thing
Wow,
about
that-
Darlington. We'll talk about this later on. Not going to dominate. We're going to try to figure out what happened here with the caution is we're being thrown back to a replay.
You guys got to see this. I watched this unfold. I was looking for a fight happening, and I saw a pass about to happen, and it just all went wrong.
Several times.
Watch that.
Yeah. Yeah, right there. The guy in front of him there gets a little turbulent coming off of turn 2, tries to check up. Not enough time for a car to slow down, and unfortunately, that's going to wrap up the 83 machine of Wortman as well. So rough day gets rougher.
Wreck to the inside, wreck to the outside, and you don't want to be anybody involved in that because the flag did not wave for you. The race continues, so anything that happened, you either have to deal with it or you're going to give up a lap.
Well,
Or more, most
congratulations.
likely.
We still had cars bouncing off the wall here. That's a byproduct of Darlington, guys. That's what you're going to get. And guys, know it's going to be really hard to try to get a caution to come out because this track is so wide.
That's a good point. I've never seen it happen where, you know, you had a wreck to the inside and the outside at the same time, and you didn't get a yellow out of it. That is just, there was so much room on the track for the cars to go around them, though. Like you said, Al, it's like, why throw the yellow? Everyone's clear. Everyone's driving. Let's keep going.
The main thing there, too, is, though, neither one of those cars, you know, there was a handful of cars involved in that all over the track, but neither one of them really got turned around sideways. Nobody got actually spun. It was just, you know, a bunch of bumper-to-bumper and wall contact. And iRacing really needs, you know, one of those cars to get just turned dead sideways with a decent amount of angle for a long enough period of time for it to actually throw that much-dreaded caution flag out.
But here we go, guys. We're 10 laps to go in stage 1, and the leader, Derek Heitman, who's been leading this thing since lap 1, he is slowly coming up on lap traffic, and that lap traffic is going to be Alexander Carr and Richard Kleinman, and these two guys are going to be in this way. Also, Kenny Powell in the fray there as well. Hopefully these guys will get down. They'll be cognizant of the fact that the leader's coming, but there's no guarantee that they'll do that, so we'll watch this closely.
Well, there goes the first one, as you just mentioned. There goes the first one. There goes the second one. Gitter and Heitman making the pass on Powell. Ooh, Powell moves up, almost clips Hill a little bit. He's now down below the line, just staying out the way as best he possibly can. And before I pass it off, I want to say a quick shout out to Matthew Lewis, who says, push that gas pedal down, senor. Do not be scared. Don't be scared.
Yeah, and also Kenny Powell almost mixed us up Dr. Jack there for a second. Paul Hill.
Yeah.
Dr. Jack.
I could use one of those right about now, but that would be unprofessional. So
Daniels.
No,
Ooh,
not as
I
good
like
as
that.
not as good as Jimmy drops, but it's up there.
Jimmy drops. I like
Jimmy
Dr.
drops.
Daniels. I'm going to remember that one. That's funny. Oh my goodness. And here comes, as we mentioned, the lap traffic is happening. So some of these guys now are starting to see the back end of the leaders for a second time. Richard Kleinman, Alex Carr, Kenny Powell. They're all people that Derek Heitman has passed so far. And along with him, he's bringing the rest of the pack. We are well within the about 7 laps here of the end of stage 1. Everyone's making it here on this sprint, and I think Derek Heitman might have the walk-off homer with the end of stage 1 here. What do you guys think?
I don't know, man, but if this is indicative of how the rest of the stages are going to go, I think people are going to start to head to the concession stands. Ralph will get a good night hanging out with Thelma Sue. He'll get to eat his fried ribs and not actually be up there because we wore them out last week at Martinsville and the week before at Richmond. So, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. We almost had a wreck. It sorted itself out.
Well, I wouldn't be running to the concession stand just yet. I've been looking here. In the past couple laps, Gitter has been slowly inching his way back into the fray. A little bit of a struggle off turn 4, though, is going to give the upper hand to Derek Heitman for the time being. But Gitter is really knocking it out in 1 and 2 now, closing, ripping about a tenth of a second off through the first delta of this speedway.
Well, I'm going to ask you this question because you were there, Sheldon, and you're going to close this segment out, but does he really need it?
Was that them stage points?
Yeah, is Gitter really, does he need it? Is he really going to go after Heitman, or is this going to be the Heitman show?
No. I can tell you one thing. When we get down to the end of the season and Heitman's, getting the hardware sent home to him and Gitter's sitting there in second place, he's going to be wishing that he'd given a little bit of extra charge. Every point matters in this business, and every position counts.
That's what I'm saying. As of last week, we saw that Gitter definitely gave Passalacqua the bumper. He did not give any.
Yeah, you're going. I think you might see a little touch of it tonight here. I mean, definitely not as rough, close quarters racing between these Fortis guys, but he's not going to give him anything that he can't take himself. And right there, you see, lucky for Heitman, 49 machine just gets right out of the way at the perfect possible time. No momentum break for the 76 machine. The wheels are still on. He's going to keep going.
Love that for the 76 machine. Those guys, they've been working hard out here all year. So the fact that they finally get to come out here tonight, man, and get an actual meaningful prize, that stage win is going to be huge for these guys' momentum going forward.
It looks like that stage win is about a lap and a half away right now.
I'm getting there.
Pending.
Gitter right now, though, ain't gonna happen unless something bad happens to the 76 machine. Gitter is not gonna be able to get to him here as he come to take the stage white.
He's got that good line up, hits the apex early, bounces up to the wall, and then we're gonna see him keep it below that seam as we come around to seal off the end of stage 1, folks. Thanks for joining us here. Glad to have you. Let's see what happens. I think we've got an idea of how this is going to go. I think, Big Al, you might be looking in the crystal ball earlier when you said this might be the way things go tonight. Derek Heitman with your stage 1 win. Patrick Gitter in second. Brendan Passalacqua comes across in third. I think we're going to take a little ad break here, folks. Oh. Yep, we're going to take a little ad break here as the official flag flies. And we've got the top 10 cars across the line. We'll cover that real quick when we get back.
It's gonna get hot today. Grab an ice cold sun drop and show us how you drop it.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
And drop it.
Cause I got it going on. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
A thirst-quenching citrus soda just dropped. Coast to coast. Sun drop.
That's how you drop it. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's
COVID.
We are back, folks. You saw the like, subscribe, and the bell. We always appreciate it when you do, but let's go ahead and quickly count off the top 10 as they finished after stage 1 here. It was Derek Heitman, Patrick Gitter in second, Brandon Passalacqua in third, Paul Hill in fourth, Josh Schaffner in fifth, Chris Crosby in sixth, Brian Johnson in seventh, Matt DeCiani in eighth, Vincent Crowe in ninth, and Sean Senior in 10th. We're going to get Derek Heitman, the stage 1 winner, up here in the booth. Hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to him. Let's see, there he is. Let's move him up here. Derek Heitman, can you hear us up in the booth? Hello there, Derek.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, just wanted to catch you for a second here. Going to pass you to Big Al for a quick interview. Al, you ready for that?
Sure.
I can be. Oh, you were asking
take it
him,
away.
not me. Got it.
No, he was asking you, but I said, "Go on, boss. Good to see you tonight."
Good to see you too, Al.
I mean, is this your first time here tonight, Derek?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not looking like
Something
your
like
first time here tonight, Derek.
For my first time, I guess I'm doing all right, ain't I?
Well, let's talk about that, man. We got one of the green lights off on the pace car. Going to have to wrap this up, but you got a lot of speed. You found it somewhere. Talk us through it. Tell us who you shouting out, and get back to it all in 10 seconds.
I mean, yeah, man. I mean, really, it's just all about consistency and being able to hit your line and your lap every single time. And it's probably one of the most difficult tracks to do it at. Ken Byron and Ryko and all my teammates over there did a good job of getting a setup put together for this week. Even got a little coaching from my teammates. Shout out to Sean Conklin. I wasn't too good on Monday night. Well, I was all right. I could have been a lot better. He made me a lot better. So here we are, and hopefully we have something to bring it home with.
Definitely showing off pretty good for you, boss. We'll be cheering for you. Hopefully we'll see you at the top at the end of this thing. Get back to it.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Derek Heitman. We're lined up. Pace car is off in a way. Derek Heitman going to be taking us through that Geico restart zone. Got him stacked up right now. To his outside is going to be Patrick Gitter. It's going to be duplicate of what we saw in the first restart. And just like that, Heitman gets the great start. He is off and away, goes up top, trying to block the 21 of Heitman. Gitter comes back down, and he is leading these guys away. No problems whatsoever. Look at how fast everybody gets in line.
Yeah, these guys know there's a lot of race ahead of them here, a lot of stage left. No point in bringing a torn-up race car back down pit road. Just single it out, and oh no, as I'm speaking about it, the 88 machine gets turned into 3. Dead sideways, but off the racing groove. The green flag is going to stay out.
Hopefully he can get it turned back around and get it going again. David Gervais actually had a pretty strong week last week with a top 10 finish at Martinsville. Now he's going to be getting it around, hoping that he can get it going, get it pointed the right direction, and stay on the lead lap. His teammate, the 24 Kenny Powell, he is still down behind the fence wall. Not sure what's going on there.
Well, Kenny had a lot of right side damage. He was way off pace. I think he may have been a toe link on that machine. He was really struggling. Lost a bunch of laps early. Let's look at the 26 machine of Paul Hill. High, White, and Hansen through 1 and 2. Here comes Gitter with a dive down to the bottom, and he's going to clear him coming into turn 3. Patrick Gitter is going to take the lead from Derek Heitman, his teammate, in commanding fashion in turn 3. Move the 21 machine up to the front here.
Yeah, once you put those numbers on the board, sometimes it seems it is written in permanent marker, because once Gitter gets, he never gives back. I mean, maybe in the community, but not on the racetrack. How about that, guys?
Absolutely.
That's well said.
Textbook Patrick Gitter riding around the first stage, just making sure he's got a good read for what the tires are going to do. Second stage coming back, swinging extra hard, and I think we're seeing it early here. This very well could end up being Patrick Gitter's race.
Now let's see if Heitman's line changes at all. I don't think it's going to. It's worked off for him very, very often. You see that it's keeping him apace with Patrick Gitter right now. He hasn't lost any speed. In fact, right now he's in the bubble, closing that gap, looking to just stay in line, but he's gonna keep the line. He gets out of it a little bit there. He gets some of that dirty air, unfortunately, but he's not losing any speed, and I think that's really important. If Heitman wanted to sort of save a little bit more, let Brendan Pasalacqua get a little bit closer, he could, but right now I think it's a very good chance that Heitman might just be trying to use Gitter to gauge how much he's going to burn things up himself.
Heitman really bottled himself up coming out too there. Not used to running in the dirty air this race. I think he got a little bit of an arrow push. Car got tight, washed up about a lane and a half on corner exit, and just about tagged down the wall.
And no matter how many times you've been in this situation where you're following a guy like Gitter, all of us will follow guys like Gitter because those guys are going to be up front. It's just hard because what happens then is 76 has been running his own race for majority of the laps, but then he throws it out the window because he kind of gets that bumper trap. But here he comes. He's going to the outside. He's going to break the pattern. Nope, not enough to get it done. He's going to come back in behind Gitter, but I'm hoping that he does actually try to keep Gitter honest, guys.
No, we're at Darlington. He's trying to make a pass on the outside. I bet he thinks that Harry put special tires on that 76 machine there. What are you thinking, Big Al?
Well, you know, I'm thinking that when he was up front, he had all of the speed and then some, where it seemed like he could drive that car anywhere around the racetrack that he wanted to go. But now he is finding out that there are a lot of perils that come with bad air. That's what I think, Sheldon.
I'm mad at you. You missed the Days of Thunder reference.
I heard Harry put special tires on it.
Disappointed.
Even I've seen it.
His tires are matched and staggered to perfection, and you might need to change camera angles there because we're going blind on this back straightaway here. The 21 machine Gitter still in control over Derek Heitman, 0.2 of a second back. Brandon Pasalacqua, another great day so far in third, and our pick, man, Joe, Paul Hill sitting there in the fourth position, ready to pounce.
He is. It's probably one of the best places he's been all night in terms of being able to see the lead, and he's getting a lot of help, thankfully, from the pace that the two guys ahead of him have been setting. It's just been relentless. Hill himself has just enough speed in the car. I think that if he wanted to try to be a little more aggressive, he could, but he knows he's going to have to pass 2 or 3 cars at once if he really wanted to try. I'm not sure he'd be able to get in front of Brandon Pasalacqua without Pasalacqua just putting the car right up against Heitman and making it a really difficult challenge for Hill to be able to pull that off.
Here he comes, looking down to the inside, trying to fake out the 6 machine of Pasalacqua. Pasalacqua not going to bite as we come into turn 3. Going to run it up the track just a little bit, trying to wind up that old Chevy engine. But not able to find that momentum to get to the back bumper of the 6 machine this time by. Look at how close Derek Heitman's pulled everybody back up to the back of Patrick Gitter. Is Gitter on a heavy tire save strategy right now?
Guys, I think we got a little bit of time here. I would like to pull up the 24 Kenny Powell, just kind of get his perspective of what was going on down on the racetrack this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Where is he in the old Discord list? All right, I got him right here. You want me to pull him up?
Yes, indeed. Bring him up.
Oh, there you go.
Kenny Powell, Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
I got you.
Hey, so what's going on, boss man? Looked like it was a pretty spiritual affair down there, but you kind of got caught up in some mischief. What's your status?
I had about 9 minutes of damage. I'm a minute from getting it fixed. I'll go out on the track and see what it feels like. Pretty disappointing week for me. I've had a real good car, raced really good, and just seemed to be sitting like this about most races.
And I mean, what do you attribute that to, Kenny? Because we've kind of watched it, and it seems like you have been the bearer of bad luck. And I'm just wondering, like, what has changed for you guys this year?
I don't know. It's just my bad luck, man. I've been plagued with it all the time. I mean, I know that, if it's always you that's having the bad luck, it's probably you and not the luck. But, man, I don't know. It's hard.
Well, I tell you what, I appreciate you taking our call, man. Good luck to you, though. Hopefully you guys can turn this thing around and get back up front, at least towards the mid or the back of the season, right?
10-4. I hope so. Well, like I said, I've been running good. I just need to get the finishes.
I got you, man. I love that Jack Daniels throwback. Who you shouting out for your bad luck tonight?
All my G&G teammates. Them guys keep me going. Without them, I probably wouldn't do it all.
Roger that. Good luck to you, boss.
All right. Thank you.
You heard it there. Kenny Powell shouting out his teammates for his bad luck. I want to sit down and have a talk with that gentleman after the race, guys. That's a rough sale. Look at the 49 machine here, but back to the battle for the lead as you see Heitman still following the tire tracks of Gitter.
Ooh, a little bit of a wiggle there from Heitman. Not sure if that was from the wall or not, but didn't really cost him anything. He's still got it, still holding on to it.
And rough night gets even rougher. Kenny Powell gets a black flag leaving pit road.
Looks
Such
like
an
he's
easy
driving Buck Daniels instead of Jack Daniels on the throwback. Not having good news, good luck, good feels. But you know what? Those guys are going to stay in it, and they're going to try to make it happen, guys. But who is having a good night tonight? I'm going to say the 21 to 76 to 6 and the 26. These guys, the top four, they've actually got a little bit of a breakaway going, and it seems to be they're all pointed in the right direction, guys. And they're not. I mean, it doesn't seem like any of these guys are struggling. As you watch Heitman just really get aggressive there, kind of taking a little bit of a bite out of the right rear quarter panel of the 21.
Yeah, one tap to the back of his Fortis teammate. Heitman now locking up in tow behind the 21 machine of Gitter, trying to get by and make something happen. Lost a lot of momentum there through 3 and 4, though. It's going to be difficult to get it back from Gitter.
We got 5 laps left in this stage, by the way, before we get ready for the long one. So let's see how things play out here. It's going to be a very similar finish, but this time with Gitter in front as things go, unless Heitman decides to really put the pedal to the metal. Oh, he's not going to be able to do it with a slide like that, unfortunately.
No, big wobble out of the 76 machine as they work their way back into turn 1. Gitter running a little bit higher now than Heitman. Heitman getting up there on that wall, though, trying to find that cushion. But Gitter's going to have the momentum coming down the back straightaway this time. And it's going to be just enough to keep Heitman at bay as we work ourselves into turn 3.
Gitter out in front. This line of 4 cars has kind of defined the way the race has gone so far. Other packs of cars have been forming a little bit further down the line, but these guys up front have been really holding on to things a little bit. Whoop, Alexa's yelling at me. I don't know, she's invested in the race, I guess. But we've got a few cars coming out of the pits, and we've got only a few laps left before the end of this stage.
Gonna go back to show just how hard it is to pass here tonight, guys.
Yeah, passing. The one thing I've learned over the course of a couple of races here, Big Al, is that Darlington is a place where passing is not a passive action. It is something that you've got to really think about. You've got to line it up, and it's a risk it for the biscuit kind of moment. And if you don't commit, and if you're not there for the pass, mentally and physically with your car, it's just not going to work. And it's been wild to watch. Every pass here has me on the edge of my seat.
And here we are, taking the white flag in the stage. Patrick Gitter leading Derek Heitman by 0.5 of a second. Through 1, out of turn 2, Gitter with a sizable advantage. He can basically just cruise to the stage 2 win from here. As Patrick Gitter's Derek Heitman's starting to fall prey to the 6 machine of Passalacqua. Keying it off through 3 and out of 4 to the stripe with the green and white checkered in air. Patrick Gitter's going to win stage 2 and bringing it home second is going to be Heitman, and third is going to be Brandon Passalacqua.
4th place, Paul Hill. 5th place, Josh Schaffner. Chris Crosby comes across in 6th. Brian Johnson, 7th. Matt DeCiani in 8th. Sean Signor in 9th. And Mark Sanchez rounds out the top 10 with stage 2 in the books, guys. I think I'm going to take another step away and we'll be right back with our stage 2 winner.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
It's gonna get hot today. Grab an ice cold sun drop and show us how you drop it.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
And drop it.
Cause I got it going on. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
A thirst-quenching citrus soda just dropped coast to coast. Sun drop.
That's how you drop it.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's
And we are back right now. We're going to be joined in the booth by none other than our race leader, Patrick Gitter. Patrick Gitter, Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Patrick, we saw lap after lap the same thing. Stage 1 kind of changed up a little bit to stage 2. Stage 2, you're the winner. Going forward, how are you going to be the winner of stage 3?
I don't know, man. Derek's got a really fast car. I think I got lucky. I think he had just an equipment issue, missed a shift in the backstretch, something. I think that's the only reason I even got around him that stage. But just keep it clean. Try to hold track position. Be smart under this green flag run as far as pit strategy, and just try to make it to the end.
Yeah, you doubled up. Looks like the lights are off on the pace car. Getting ready to get back to it. Stage 3, going to be the longest one. Green flag pit stops. Is that going to be something we can look forward to?
Yeah, I think so, man. I mean, ISCA is so clean. I fully expect to have green flag stops. You got a tricky pit entry here, so I think it's definitely going to be worth a watch.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Judging on the way you're racing, we'll see you on the podium here at the end of the night. Good luck to you, man. We're going to let you get back to it.
All right, I hope so, man. I appreciate it.
That was Patrick Gitter, your stage 2 winner. Lights off on the pace car. Like I said, he is dragging us around through 3 and 4, and he's going to get out the way, guys. We're going to be back into it for the longest stage of the night here. Stage 3 got the possibility of green flag pit stops. Patrick Gitter, one of the best starters in the league, has got him stacked up as he comes through the Geico restart zone. In and out zone, and away he goes. Not wasting any time getting her going. Patrick Gitter got the flow, went up top. Now he's got it set like a spaceship, guys. What you think about that whole process?
I think that Paul Hill almost made the move there on Derek Heitman and then decided it better to maybe just fall back for a second. That was kind of an exciting start. I'm looking a little further back, and I'm seeing again, we see the cars kind of getting into that long string of pearls situation where everybody's got their own spot. They're not really side by side at all the way back to Richard Kleinman. Everyone is staying pretty respectful, I'd say. There's a little bit of side-by-side situation happening. Not too much. Who was that I just saw there? That's the 83 of Workman Jr.
Oh, sorry. I thought Gervais is he is on pit road. He actually has a bike flag. He no good operator.
Oh, that sucks.
But guys, look, here's the deal. Everybody that was going to make a pass, they actually tried to make that pass early here, not actually getting in line straight up front. The guys that were faster, seems like they went on and tried to make that pass. But other than that, looks like we're still in the same line that we've been in. I mean, this looks like Canadian geese flying south, except for the guys this spring. They should be going the other way. What am I missing here?
Well, I think I don't know. I don't think you're missing anything. We got the Canadian geese. I'm looking all the way down the line. I see a few moves trying to happen here now on the back on the straight, the back straight there. But it wasn't anything that I don't think anybody actually made the pass. You see a lot of looking in this kind of situation. A lot of situation where people will bob out, but then they don't get the pass. Well, right as I say that though, the 83. Oh wow. Lots of movement going on here as the 25 cycles back through. That's Greg Carr. Greg Carr falling back quite a ways. He's lost a lot of position. I don't think he hit the wall. I'm not really sure what happened there, but Greg Carr just fell back a few positions. He's down 3 now from where he started.
You know, I've been watching the cars, and I've been watching all the cars, but it seems like these guys have kind of been transcending as well here tonight. Not sure what's going on, but I did see Alexander at the back of the tail in here once we got through the end of stage one. I hope I'm right there, Alexander. Don't want to misquote you. But I've been watching these guys for a while too, man, and I love the cars. Alexander and Greg, you know, they're an uncle and a nephew team, and I love families in this sport. So anytime that you can actually see family members come out here, guys, and battle with some of the greatest and still just keep their hat in the ring, keep their onions going, you gotta love it. Plus that Kodiak throwback, I'm telling you, my gums are burning right now. So yeah, loving it.
Well, if your gums are burning, I got something to. There's something out there that can wash it down for you real quick. Looking up here at one of our biggest movers of the night, up from dead last on the field. Old John Bender taking that last to first challenge again this week, up in the 10th position in a pristine silver bullet throwback. Number font's a little off, but we won't subtract too many points for that. Looking good though tonight in the 23 machine. Weird not seeing the Sundrop colors on it though.
Yeah, we usually do see Sundrop, one of our sponsors, actually, I believe. We see Sundrop on that car, but not tonight. Tonight it is the Silver Bullet.
And DeCiani in front of him with a throwback to one of Jeff Gordon's many Pepsi schemes that he ran throughout the years. Pretty sure that one got a win. I think that was the 2009 Talladega race, if memory does serve, with the white flames on the front. My memory on this stuff is too good. And when it comes to, you know, what I ate for dinner last night, man, I couldn't tell you. It was good, though.
I totally understand. I can quote you and talk to you about multiple things that have to do with episodes of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, but I haven't yet made room in my head for NASCAR paint schemes.
Speaking of DeCiani, making a huge move now, trying to get past the 7 machine of Signor. You want to do it? Huge slide job, deep dive into 3. That's going to move DeCiani up to the 8th position as he sets his sights on the 4 machine of Brian Johnson in front of him. Or is that Johnson or is that Kevin Harvick? I can't really tell.
I'm sure he's going to appreciate that, man. It seems like Brian's been around as long as Kevin Harvick, I'll say that.
I'll tell you what, that paint scheme right there makes me want to stick 3 fingers out the window, because that brings back a lot of memories of my childhood and one of the most troubling times in the sport's history, but such a Cinderella story, that paint scheme. Just a few weeks after the loss of Earnhardt, Kevin Harvick, some, you know, young nobody that got tabbed to drive a 3rd car for RCR later in the season, gets moved up in the middle of his Busch Series championship contention, and
29
comes out
car.
3 races later in the 29 machine and wins his first ever race at Atlanta Speedway, one of the last 2 tracks Earnhardt won the year before, in a near mirror photo finish to Earnhardt's win there the season prior.
You know, the lucky fortuitous thing about that is Harvick did a lot of the testing for Earnhardt with that car at that track. You know, so it was the ultimate homage. I mean, to be able to pay the respect to that guy that way, you know, you gotta love it.
Yep. If memory serves, he was supposed to start that race in the 30 AOL car with the same chassis and everything that he did end up driving to the victory. But because Earnhardt didn't like the coil bind setup, the differences in the cars.
Away from it. They want nothing to do with it.
He said, get me the hell away from this damn thing. I ain't running it. And lo and behold, Harvick goes out and gets the win with it. And that was such a tear-jerking moment, man. I remember being 5 years old and crying my eyes out watching that car roll around the track.
Yeah, man, I was a little bit older than 5. I was actually getting ready to head out to the Republic of Korea. I will never forget that. And I was helping a buddy get his brakes done. And I was literally scheduled to go. I left within a week of that. And, wow, that would have been circa 2001.
Yeah, that was 01. It was, that was such a crazy year for the sport. We got a caution on the speedway right now.
Uh-oh.
That's not a stage break.
No way.
Done with them for the night.
Let's see if we can catch up with what happened. I'm seeing Jeremy Clapper Newell as a name flashback here.
Yep, that is a 49 car. That's what I got.
And unfortunately for Jeremy, that
he's been in that. Oh, you see him?
Yeah, that 40. Yeah, that 49 Schwann's paint scheme of Schrader's from back in the day. We're seeing it right here in front of the other Schrader paint scheme. Actually, looks like it still has the. Wow, that's 2 Schraders with 1 stone.
Yeah, it's amazing those guys actually went low there. It seems like they would have let him spin low, but hey, who am I? I'm just Big Al.
I was thinking the same thing, Big Al. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, why did they go low right there? Why did they go low?
Oh, I thought you were questioning my identity. I was like, Joe, what?
No. I was just feeling the same thought as I was watching that accident happen there. I was like, those guys going low was an interesting choice.
Guys, we just got destroyed. There goes our opportunity for green flag pit stops. All of these guys are coming down now, and I didn't even see how far they can go, but if it's close to a hundo, I think they're going to try to make it happen.
It's only 70. So we're still within green flag pit stop range.
We're still going to have it.
Tires.
Yep, these guys are going to come down top off. I mean, even if we went green and still had enough gas in the thing to float it, you'd still make up a whole lot of time if you'd come down the middle and take a pit stop, throw on 4 freshies.
Yep, tires. You cannot ever understate the importance of tires, and these guys are definitely loving the good years that lay before them.
Did Vincent Crowe
just up on pit road?
What happened with Vincent Crowe here? Did he miss his box, or because he just drove through pit road and went right back out?
He did not take tires during the last pit stop.
He just drove straight through pit road and came back out. I'm wondering if he maybe missed his opportunity to turn into his pit box or something.
Well, maybe just doing what Crow knows. Vincent's been doing his thing, man, and I'm not dodging this guy. I'm not knocking him. Look, he was the only Ford in the top 10 here at the end of stage 1. So now that he comes in and he is pitting the back of this, I don't know. I can't talk bad about Ford drivers. It's in my contract.
Yeah. I did forget that. I'm wondering what old clean hair Vinny's trying to pull off here.
Let's talk junk about Kenny Powell in the 24 machine. I know you
it is a Toyota.
Oh yeah, we can trash Toyotas.
I'm not going to talk junk about Kenny after the situation he's looking at tonight.
I'll get you a good Chevy driver that you can dog.
That's good. Yeah, go on. I'm good with that.
We're under yellow here, and
Greg
I'm still
Wachinski.
looking at.
As I picked up to win this thing, and literally, it looks like my freaking grandma fighting Mike Tyson. Come on, Greg. Put your dukes up. Do better. What are you guys thinking? Has Darlington been everything that you wanted it to be? Lights off on the pace car. He's getting ready to get out of the way. Let us know in the comments. As Patrick Gitter is going to take us through the Geico restart zone again with Derek Heitman along his outside. Paul Hill now getting up into the top 3. Going to see if he actually can throw his hat in the ring. Gitter off and gone, wasting no time to find his direction. Paul Hill going to be lining up behind the 76. Further back in the pack, big checkup, big whoops. Not everybody getting the notification that we were clean and green. Probably one of the worst restarts we've seen here tonight, but looks like we're going to stay green all the way through.
That's the idea. That's what we're hoping.
Everybody in the field already shake down as single file. Good clean race tonight. That's the first caution for incident that we've seen. Everything else has been pretty smooth sailing. Watching right now, Heitman kind of back it down. Looks like he's trying to save a little bit of tire at this stage. We saw him get up there and try to get toe-to-toe with Patrick Gitter, and it just kind of rolled back and bit him on the hand at the end of the stage last go round. But here he is trying to mount a charge into 3, and he's got a very hungry Paul Hill behind him. He's worked his way up to the 3rd position in that 26 machine.
And the guys got to realize there's 93 laps to go in this thing. We're not going to crown a winner anytime soon. It's not just about who has the best lap times, man. It's about who's going to be able to keep these cars clean. And I'm telling you, they're doing a great job thus here tonight. Could not have asked for a better venue, better crew, better crowd. I mean, guys, what can we say? We're all the way through looking like 91 laps of this thing. We've only had one caution for cause.
That's true. My over-under was 6, so I think we're going to be well shy of it.
Yeah, my over-under was 4, and I think we're going to be shy of that significantly, too. Knock on wood.
Yeah, and mine's going to be whatever wins, because I'm a winner. Whoa.
Here we go, though. Derek Heitman getting to the back bumper of Gator, coming into 3. Gonna lose a little bit of momentum here, though. Choked it up to avoid getting into the back of the 21 machine. Not going to have the momentum coming off of 4, but Heitman is getting really good charges out of turn 2. And that right there, that could be deadly for the 21 at Gator.
Yeah, but as we're halfway through this thing, the 76 has a problem, and that problem is the 26 because he is in his rearview mirror. So it's one thing when you only have to be on the offensive, but when you're being defensive and offensive simultaneously, because, I mean, you're the star show, him the zit, it's a little bit complicated.
It looks like the clouds are coming in over at Darlington a little bit. Not to jump a little bit, but it looks like it's getting a little bit cloudy. The conditions changing here. Now talk to me about conditions here at Darlington. Can we pull up what the temperature is again real quick there? Producer man, I want to see what we got in the air versus what we got on the track and see if that might actually play into the longevity of these runs.
All right, now track's still looking pretty hot, sitting at 99 degrees. Air temp down to 83. Doesn't look like we're going through a really big change in the track surface just yet. I mean, definitely got a lot of rubber, a lot of marbles laid down. It's not what it was when we started this thing 95 laps ago, but, you know, everybody's kind of got what they got right now. And right now, we got a battle for the lead. Heitman all over the back bumper of Patrick Gators. We worked down the front straightaway, diving low to the left rear quarter panel, coming into 1. And is Gator going to try and charge it? Yes, he is. He's going to send it deep into turn 1, and Heitman's going to have to follow back in line and just about knocks the fence out once he gets back into the wake of the 21 machine. But here he keys off for another attempt to try and make a charge for the front position. But just going to fall short a little bit here into 3, as Gator's going to have the drive down the back straightaway.
Getting back into familiar territory. And guys, we have been watching that cloud cover. It has been not over the racetrack directly. That explains how we've been able to maintain that temperature that we do have in the track thus far. It's good to see that Patrick Giller has got back up into the front. Derek Heitman knows exactly what he has got to do, but he is back into the defensive again, unfortunately, because it's just going to be a matter of time before Paul Hill is actually going to be ready to go and show everybody just how fast he is. And if I know Paul Hill, he's going to be wanting to display that sooner than later.
I'll tell you what, this is a track I just kind of had circle for Paul. You know, we talk about how it's a race the track, not the race kind of facility. And Paul kind of gets himself into trouble sometimes, just, you know, being extra conservative, trying not to hurt those tires. But here at Darlington, there's no such thing as being too conservative with your right sides. So we look at Hill now, is trying to lock up to the rear bumper of the 76 machine of Heitman. Heitman trying to make some kind of an inroad on Patrick Gitter. Hill going to give a huge shot to the back bumper of Heitman coming into turn 1. But not enough to make anything happen yet. Here he comes charging again, back out of turn 2, taking the diamond.
Hill is in such a killing position right now.
Here he comes again, right up to the back bumper.
He just can't find the speed.
Yeah, Hill is faster at the moment. But Heitman's just doing a good job hitting his marks and not making mistakes, and that's making it impossible for the 26 machine to really find an opening to get by him. You can't force him out of the way here. Well, I mean, you can, but it's not going to be pretty.
I was going to say, you can definitely force someone out of the way here, Darlington, and it's usually an ugly and bitter and reciprocal decision. It comes back to bite you almost immediately in most cases.
Oh, yeah.
When it's done intentionally, especially.
Here comes Hill, looking down to the bottom, trying to fake out Heitman. Heitman not going to take the bait, though.
mean, kudos to Derek Hyman for actually being able to keep that car in its dominant space, guys, because, you know, he is running a true racer. He's got somebody that's dialed in on his bumper that no doubt has
Vincent,
been watching
keep it under
him.
you.
Yeah, Vincent to the outside of the 33 of Randy Belt.
Yeah, Belk and Vincent battling hard into turn 3. Vincent on the inside, Belk to the top. Here comes Vincent Crow taking the position away. That's going to move Vincent Crow up to 16th spot here.
Let's see how things are going a little bit further back in the pack. We got Vincent Crow, who we were talking about a little bit, but anybody else stacking things up a little bit? Not really. Honestly, right now, things are very spread out.
Also, I want to shout out the 22 machine, too. Another stellar throwback. That's a throwback to Bobby Labonte when he first came into the sport, driving the Maxwell House coffee machine for, I want to say it was Bill Davis Racing back at the time. I can't remember if it was still Junior's team or if it was, no, it was a Pontiac, so it wouldn't have been Junior's. I think maybe Bobby Allison's team was still running at that time frame, but I want to say it was Bill Davis that was sporting the 22 machine that season. Bill Davis, the team owner that brought us names like Jeff Gordon and Ward Burton to the Cup Series and made household names out of, young upshot drivers.
I think I'm seeing the 88 car, David Gervais, down on pit road. And if I'm looking at this correctly, guys, I think he might be able to make it to the end of this thing. So either David has a hot rod dialed in on long runs, or he was just out of sequence. What do you think?
Well, I know old
tell us in the chat.
Old Gervais has had a rough night at the track here this evening.
Yeah, he's 33 laps down. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, he's not been having fun. I think he's just out here kind of logging at this point. Tough break for old Gervais.
That's how you get, we're in a league, so you don't get safety rating in here, I don't think. Or do you?
No, you just get points.
Just points for the bragging rights.
Also, Vincent Crow on a charge, taking over another spot here, as you saw him pass the 44 machine, a Drumheller. Now he's taking the battle to the 12, diving deep out of turn 2. Huge slide out of the 12 machine. Going to open the door wide open for Vincent Crow as he sends it deep into turn 3. Side by side, door to door, panel to panel. It looks like the 12's going to get the momentum off the top, but the geometry is going to pay in favor of Vincent Crow. He's going to clear him down the front straightaway. 2 spots in the lap for Clean Hair Vinny.
Yeah, that was actually getting by Nick King, which is definitely not an easy feat. Nick King not wanting to give up anything.
Second. Heitman under fire. Here comes the 26 machine of Paul Hill with a dive down into turn 3. Hill has been following him for the last 20 laps, but he doesn't want to follow anymore, but he's going to settle back in because Heitman takes that outside line momentum and runs with it down the front straightaway, pulling him back in front.
Just goes to show how hard it is to pass at Darlington, but you understand that Paul Hill's not going to go away. He is still going to be there wanting to get around just to show that he's faster. And that's what exactly is what he's going to want to do.
He gives him a huge shot into turn 3 on entry, but it doesn't do anything to help him really. But these guys are really drawing the bead back on the 21 of Patrick Gitter.
And also the harder these two battle with each other, it just kind of allows Gitter to just kind of get away a little bit if you're watching.
Every little bit counts.
Hill is dogging it right now. He's going to want to take about 10% off the top here because I think he might be killing the tires as you see him just all over the wheel, swatting flies through 1 and 2 that last time by. Doing everything he can to get to the back bumper of Heitman, and you see Heitman picking it up too as he takes a heavy wobble out of turn 4 that time.
We are in the pit window, if I'm not mistaken. Jay Walker's in the 63 car. He is down on pit road. Going to be an early taker here. We call those Black Thursday, Black Friday, whatever the hell it is, shoppers.
Yeah.
Gonna have to watch him.
He is.
Right now, all eyes on the 21 machine of Patrick Gitter as he's taking the lead in the second stage, and he's just kind of ran with it ever since. Like you were talking about, Gitter gets that lead, man. It's impossible to get it back. Look a little further back in the pack. There's Belk and Drumhiller. I'll tell you what, that 44 machine, it's great. Old Tony the Tiger on the hood.
Very classy. Yeah, there we go. That's a throwback design that even I recognize. I don't know who it was, but I recognize it.
Bonnie in the number 5
Yeah.
car there is who that was.
Texas Terry. Two-time champion. And those championships separated by, I think, a little over a decade.
I mean, Brother Bobby,
And,
Brother Bobby had a slice of cheese in between those, didn't he?
2000 was Bobby's. Terry's was cool, though, because he was a dynasty breaker. Like, he stole one from Earnhardt in the 80s. And in the 90s, he stole one from Gordon. Just always slip in there, have one good season where everything's just absolutely perfect for him. And all the while doing it, you know, while being dead quiet. I think, you know, you can watch interviews and maybe Terry Labonte has maybe 25 words that he said his entire career. Definitely couldn't be me. I yap way too much. As you see him get to the back bumper of the 12 machine here of King, diving down to the inside out of 4, not able to get it to stick, though. King going to use that rip around the outside line to stay ahead of the 44 machine.
Some very close racing happening right here around the 16th place, as you pointed out. Nick King up 6 places from where he started. Right now, he's just holding off a couple of cars behind him. Behind him, it's a little bit more chaotic. This is a lot of aggressions out of some of these guys around this position to get a little bit further up. They want to try to dig their way out while they've got time. Because as soon as it gets closer to the end, everyone's going to start racing a lot harder. As we see Randy Drumhiller looking but not taking on Nick King yet. We'll see if he does.
You also see right there behind these guys, that battle, the car behind them, the 24 machine, not for position. That's Kenny Powell. Multiple laps down after taking, he said, 9 minutes of required repairs on pit road, or optional repairs on pit road. But no, up into the ones, Nick King, and a little bit of door contact from the 44 of Drumhiller. Everybody's going to get off clean, though. Not quite. They're still side by side. It's going to be a charge into 1. This is where it could get really risky for these two. King going to sound all the way up against the wall, up into the fence. Drumhiller going to have to settle for the position right now. Not able to make it happen. And Kenny Powell has the catbird seat as he's getting passed right now. Kenny Powell's in a position he does not want to be in. A couple laps down, surrounded by a bunch of guys that are racing the absolute hell out of each other. You see him going to dive down to the inside of the 44. Oh, one car way sideways out of 4.
Oh, no, but it sounds like there was a big save, though.
Yeah.
Jose Medina.
That should have been a wreck.
48 of Jose Medina. Up 5 from where he started. Should have had a wreck. Didn't. And he's still away.
I think Medina scared a couple feathers off that Aflac duck there.
Oh, my goodness. What classic ads. Here we got eyes on the front of the race. Still Gitter out in front by half a second. Behind him, it's Heitman and Hill. Hill just looking for a spot potentially on Heitman, but I don't think he's got the speed to complete a pass on him. I think that he can try, and he's looking right now. He's just hinting.
I think if Hill can get past that 76 machine of Heitman, I think that he might have something to contend with Patrick Gitter. It's just getting Heitman out of the way. You're trying to pass, one of the best in the series, one of the best on the service even. With Derek Heitman, that 76 machine, it's just going to be difficult.
Yeah, and I'm thinking right now, guys, with 64 laps to go on this thing, he might be better pressed to make that pass on pit road. These guys still having to come down at least one more time in order to be in the clear to get done with this thing. So some of those passes are best to be made right there, because like I said, you drive for show, but you pit for dough.
But look at this. We haven't mentioned it all night. We haven't even really talked about this fellow all night, but I've caught him the closer once or twice this season, sneaking up into the picture in the Dale Jr. throwback. Passalacqua, that 6 machine, looking right, doing what he does week in and week out, being the best at saving those tires. And I think that he's definitely got the car to at least get up there and contend for a win here. As you see him dive deep down to the inside of the 26 machine into turn 3. Hill is going to just flat out concede the spot, knowing that Passalacqua's got a better set of good years under him. And he's going to let Passalacqua get up there and try to contend with the 76 of Heitman.
These guys are all going to be trying to figure out here sooner or later when they're going to come down the pit road. That's going to be the strategy, probably in the next 20 laps, I'm guessing. You know, that then 15 to 20 laps is when they're going to be coming down. That's what I'm thinking. What are you guys guesstimating?
I would have said next 10 just to be competitive with you, but
Yeah,
honestly,
right.
next 15 to 20 sounds about right.
Yeah, I like the 10. I do like 10. But the way these guys are driving right now with 36 laps on their tires, and I'm looking at their lap times, they're really not feeling any pain, guys. They're kind of right there within a second of their best times, and it seems to be a sweet spot. So, they'll try to hold out as long as they can, and we'll be watching, but we'll be looking for any kind of activity down pit road.
Derek Heitman sits in third. Hill has fallen back a little further now. Just a little bit, only about 0.4 of a second. Oh, now he's closing up that gap pretty fast. But he's still sitting back there a little ways. Everyone behind that, very, very, very stretched out right now, folks. We've got cars all over the track. There's the situation up front with Patrick Gitter as he is getting ready to pass lap traffic virtually at any moment here. Who's out in front of him right now, lap traffic wise? I think it's Chuck Burley will be next in line. So once he catches up there, we'll see what happens.
Well, Gitter's got a long way to go to get up to the back of that machine of Chuck Burley. But right now, what he's got to worry about is he's up there and in the lead, got a 0.6 of a second advantage. But Passalacqua's lap times, they're looking a lot better. Patrick Gitter at the line that time ran a 30.556. Passalacqua ran a 30.3. That's 6 machine, man. He's got his tongue out the window. He's hungry. He's chomping at the bit to get up here and have a chance at a win over here at the good old Lady in Black. And based on the lap times, I think he might just get himself up there in the opportunity.
Well, yeah, but remember, it's one thing to catch Patrick Gitter. It's something totally different to pass Patrick Gitter. And if Brandon wants to do that, I think his best shot's going to be down pit road. These guys still running hard. They're up front. They got to run hard. Watching Brandon's lap times, 30.479 that last time. Not the fastest overall. That's going to be further back in the pack there with Greg Carr. But it's still considerably faster than Patrick Gitter, who's ahead of him, just 0.2 of a second slower.
Here we are again at the stripe. The same story as the last 2 laps. Brandon Passalacqua with 0.2 of a second quicker than your race leader, Patrick Gitter, and he is now within striking distance as he works himself out of turn 2. Down the Boeing back straightaway into 3. And I got a feeling it's going to be the same story this time as we work our way through the corner. Look at that, Passalacqua just way low on the track, all the way down to the paint. Rotating the center of the corner better than Gitter, who's all the way up on the top trying to cook for extra momentum. I think Gitter's worn those tires off. I think Passalacqua's here, and he's not going anywhere anytime soon aside from to the front.
All right, the 76 of Derek Heitman is on pit road.
Oh, the bumper out of 2.
So these two are battling heavy.
Gitter's pitting.
And Gitter's going to come down pit road.
No, it's a late entry.
Road. It seems to have it under control.
Yep.
So
nice
green
pit
stops have officially started, guys.
It's begun. The leaders are in.
And we're seeing right now, looking at that 44, and we got 54 to go, right? There were 44 on that lap sequence. So, barring a caution, these guys are going to have to conserve and save. Otherwise, we'll see probably similar to what we saw at the end of that run. And thinking these guys came in probably a little bit sooner, maybe to push the issue. Because knowing that they still going to have 53 laps to go, you know, I don't know. What are your thoughts? That's a long run. It's going to be interesting to see how many guys actually stay out and don't come in just yet. So they're trying to capitalize and actually have better tires for a shorter distance.
Well, not Passalacqua. 2 laps later, here he comes diving down pit road, setting it deep in. Good entry, good clean entry. No issues, no slides. Passalacqua on pit road.
Yeah, I guess at this point you're going to lose too much if you were to stay out.
Ooh. 5 is him. I'd have kept her out there. It's got more than just 2 laps of advantage on the tires.
That was Patrick Gitter slugging against the wall briefly, by the way.
Just a question, did Gitter get any damage off of that?
Didn't look hard enough necessarily to do some serious damage, but then again, this is as we mentioned, I've mentioned the past two races after a tip by Adkins. There, it was. This is oh, shoot, great. Sorry guys, I'm watching the race here, and I'm trying to describe the race at the same time, and my train of thought just left the station. I'm going to pass it to you, Sheldon.
I'm looking at Gitter right now. A little bit of damage to the right front fender. Just a slight crinkle, though. No actual damage. Just a little scrape on the paint. That 21 machine's still going to be fast. I doubt there's any error issues as we look at the 26 machine of Paul Hill, who inherited the lead through pit cycle. Coming down pit road, throwing on some 4 fresh tires. Now, he could be interesting to watch as we get later on this thing. Having a little bit fresher tires than the guys that he was battling for the lead earlier. But it's just a matter of how much time did he lose staying out there, because we know that car fell off like a stone at the end of that run.
And it did. As the cycle continues, Paul Hill, John Bender, Nick King, all down pit road right now.
Still got some guys still out there, and I'm wondering, man, that might be the call. I'm still watching. We got Greg Wachinski, Matt DeCiani, Mark Sanchez, Vincent Grove, and Sean Signor all still out.
Oh, here's the metric right here. Patrick Gitter just ran a 29.7. That's 7 machine up there at the point at 31.3.
Now, this is a direct split, because now you've got 49 laps on and 49 laps to go. So just in my opinion, looking at this, Matt DeCiani is probably going to find himself in a far more favorable position, just so as long as he can keep himself on the lead lap.
Yeah. You want to stay on that lead lap at this point, with this, especially since that. I mean,
that's Lacqua.
Got some action.
Yeah, he went to pass Chuck Burley. Burley staying out on old tires, a few laps, a little bit behind. And Basilacqua almost got woed up, checked up, bottled down to the bottom of the track with a little bit of a block, just a miscue. Burley trying to get out of the way, says that Basilacqua could get by. And Basilacqua wasn't expecting him to go down there.
Yep, that's one of the things you're going to have to watch out for, especially on a track like Darlington, where guys coming out on fresh tires are going to feel really like Superman, but the guys that are out on older tires are going to really be like kryptonite. And when those two meet together in turn 3 or 4, it's just going to be like a bad night.
Right now,
well said. Took me a second.
Half a straightaway separating Brandon Basilacqua from second place, or who will be second place, Derek Heitman. And then a whole straightaway just about separating Heitman from Patrick Gitter, who's at the front of this charge of guys that came down pit road. All 3 cars running 7th, 8th, and 9th.
But you guys know that the cautions, Matt DeCiani down on pit road, but you know the caution's never going to come from the front. So it's good to see these guys actually did make it to where they're ahead of what they owe. You know, so that's going to make their cars better for the long run. Still got Greg Wachinski, Dave Hughes Jr., Randy Drumhiller. These guys are still out there along with Jose Medina trying to keep it, you know, on the better side of Paul.
I'll also say this has been an uncharacteristic night for DeCiani.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're used to seeing him up there in that podium spot, you know, running for anywhere between 5th and 3rd. And honestly, I haven't really mentioned him once or twice.
What time out? I've called this guy before also there, Sheldon, and I think he's right where he does his best. He is in the hunt. His hat is in the ring. He is not out of this thing, and the strategy that he has taken is not maybe shined a spotlight on him, and that might have been what he was looking for. Don't let the other drivers know that you exist. Make them ask, hey, where is that one car? You know what I mean? Because pinning that one on your donkey, that's a lot of pressure in itself, right?
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be so audacious as to put
big
the
loose
one
for
on my
Patrick
own guy.
Gitter. Gitter got really loose through center of 3 and 4 there, and he's gave up a lot of time doing it.
We got the 5 of Greg Watinsky now. He is back on to the run.
Doing what he can.
Still got 3 guys that haven't come down to taste the poison yet.
Yeah, and the first one of them, the 7 machine, is Sean Signor, followed by Dave Feud Jr. Well, that's really only 2 guys that haven't come down at this point.
Yep.
And good run for Sean to be up there, get a couple of points, get a couple laps led here. I think he's coming down pit road this time, though, because Fuge is definitely passing him. New race leader now, though, the 22 machine of Dave Fuge Jr.
Perfect timing.
Where's that?
I was going to say, it's just Senora is coming down right now. Guarantee it. And there he is.
As our ticker says up there, it says D Junior Fuge.
Yep. Yeah, but the 22's got to look out for the 21 because he is back on the move, ready to go. And these guys are not going to be making their way around. Cautions come from the back. This thing's been pretty clean. I don't know if we're going to see anything maybe from the back that kind of flares his head up. We've seen a couple incidences early in the race, but everything fared its way out. And man, it's been a run, guys. This has been a true run.
I'll tell you what, I do like what Dave's doing right now, though. He's throwing in the towel, though, giving up the ghost, coming down pit road here. But the man, got up there to the front, stayed out as long as he could, hoping that we could get a caution. Not going to get one, going to have to come down here and, bite the bullet. But, you're not going to win these things doing exactly what the leader does if you're not up there in the top position with the best car or the best feel for the track. You got to try and go off center. And good call for him, good call for the 7 machine as well to kind of just stay out there and try to get yourself in the best possible opportunity to get as much track position as you possibly can. But now, race back in the hands of the 21 machine of Patrick Gitter as he works his way through lap traffic. About half a straightaway, 2.5 seconds separating him from Derek Heitman and 3.5 seconds separating Gitter from 3rd place, Brandon Passalacqua.
And Passalacqua's going to have tires that are going to be some 3 to 4 laps better than the aforementioned 2 guys. So, going to see if that plays into fact at all, because we do know that fresh tires and clean air, that could be, quite a pair here tonight.
As we're looking at the 6 machine of Passalacqua here, working his way through 3 and 4. Another one of those tear-jerking paint schemes of yesteryear with the baseball Dale Jr. throwback. 2001 Pepsi 400.
You guys are nailing all these throwbacks so well. I want to personally applaud you for that.
I've spent a lot of money on tiny race cars that I tore up when I was a kid.
Nice.
It's a byproduct of growing up in the South, because if you don't have the tiny cars, you won't learn how to count.
Exactly. I'm sitting here looking at the Dale Jr. 2004 Daytona race version sitting on my desk right now. It doesn't go anywhere but there. It's the centerpiece that brings the room together, man. It really ties the room together.
You beat me to it.
Moved over 30 times. Well over 30 times in my adult life, just being in the military, being retired and an adventurer, and I'm still toting around tiny cars. So for those tiny cars that I have, that I've toted for 30 years, that are within an arm's reach of me, I say salute.
Well said, Miguel. Well said.
Hey man, you gotta collect that thing you're passionate about. You love it, you gotta learn everything about it.
Yeah, who knew though, right?
Yep. What do we got here?
Yeah, I'm literally just I'm sitting here right now. I get paid to do what I did as a little kid in the living room on Sundays, watching the race with my little, Matchbox cars. And it's cool how life comes full circle like that. But speaking of full circle, Passalacqua really bringing up the heat here. Knocked a second off the advantage to Patrick Gitter, and he is about to be within spitting distance of Derek Heitman for second place. Does he have the time? Does he have the tires to really make something happen here and make a late race charge for the win?
Well, you talked about this. You talked about this earlier on in Sheldon. I think you're going to see this because right now we've got that smorgasbord of tire situations. A lot of guys out there faster than the guys in front of them, and they're going to try to do things that you don't do usually or normally at Darlington, and that's pass. So the more these gentlemen try to pass, and the more they become, impatient because we're literally getting down to the thick of it with 32 laps to go, the more you're probably going to see catastrophic events unfold.
Right now,
I don't want to see anything.
Here on, brother.
I was just saying I don't want to see anything catastrophic happen before the end of this race. So let's just hope that everybody keeps it nice and clean. Despite the fact that things are a little quiet, let's see what happens as we get closer and closer to the end here, and especially with everybody having pit around. Looks like around the 120, 130 mark. No one's going to have to necessarily pit for it. So this could be it.
Yeah, you're looking at that one car, Matt DeCiani, and he can see the 21 of Patrick Gitter like a half a backstretch behind him, and he knows right now that's TikTok. No matter how you look at it, no matter how many laps are left, if the leader's coming up behind you, that means you've done something wrong. So expect to see a lot of guys kind of feel that pressure. And, pressure makes people do dumb stuff.
Too true.
Here we go. Passalacqua out of turn 2, evaporating the advantage that Derek Heitman had over him for so many laps. Just a tenth of a second a lap. But for multiple laps, that has brought him right to the back bumper of the 76 machine, Derek Heitman. And Heitman stuck up behind a little bit of lap traffic at the 58 machine of Richard Kleinman in front of him, throwing dirty air down and really hurting the performance of the 76 machine and really opening the window of opportunity for
Wait, why was
behind him.
Just on pit road?
Now, what happened to Gitter? It's the battle for the lead we're watching.
He's gone.
What happened to Gitter?
He disconnected.
Well, we definitely need to figure out. I mean, that's our show.
He just got dropped from the race, unfortunately, it looks like. That makes Derek Heitman our new race leader, but on nefarious circumstances.
The question is, for how long? Brandon Passalacqua all over the back bumper of the 76 machine as we cue ourselves off into turn 3. Looking low, and this is a thing that I've seen out of Passalacqua that I like the most. The only guy that really commits to that bottom line all the way through the corner. Here he comes. Down to the left rear quarter panel, into 1. Heitman not going to give it to him, though. Heitman going to fight back hard on the outside. But Passalacqua still staying in the tire tracks of the 76 machine.
Okay, we got 27 laps to go. We got to figure out what happened to Gitter.
Okay. He is currently not on Discord right now.
Yeah,
so I think he might have lost connection entirely.
He drove down pit road and left. I don't know what happened there.
We might have had a real life situation that took place, but ladies and gentlemen, we'll definitely let you know what occurred with our points leader and our race leader, like all at one time there. Derek Heitman, though, definitely, he's not going to be complaining as he has jumped on that pony and is definitely taking the lead and doing it very respectfully.
It's not over. It's not over, buddy. Here we go. Back into 1. Side by side down into the first corner here. Heitman going to get the advantage of staying up top, trying to run defensive. And it's just going to hurt the momentum coming out of the corner. Here comes the 6, back to the rear bumper, down the back straightaway, but Heitman going to get a little bit of advantage. Coming back into 3, here comes the 6, though, looking up top again, trying to build that momentum. And he's going to try and pass him on the outside through 3 and 4. If he can get at the quarter panel, yes, it's going to break the momentum and open the door for him into 1.
These two definitely probably going to race each other maybe harder. I don't see why they wouldn't.
Didn't these two have trouble last week at Martin's? Who I know that Pasalaco got. It was Gitter, okay.
It's nice though, you know.
Well, you know when you get messed over by a guy that runs for a certain team, that give a damn button that you have sitting on the dashboard kind of starts malfunctioning when you're around their buddies.
Yeah, I just went on and bought a stack of work orders.
Here we go.
The button's been busted forever and ain't ever gonna get fixed.
Deep dive into 1. Here he comes. Pasalaco to the inside. Door-to-door contact coming through 2. Heitman up into the fence. Here comes Pasalaco with another deep charge to the bottom. And he's going to send it down here into 3, but a huge drive by Heitman around the top. They're going to be side-by-side coming through 3 and 4, and down the front straightaway. Heitman's going to have the advantage this time. And here comes Paul Hill.
Hill finally making his way back up to the pack a little bit. It's getting tighter again toward the front. I thought Pasalaco, that was his best attempt so far. If he can pull off another one of those and stick it, really stick it, he's got a chance to make the pass right now. But Derek Heitman is not going to let go of any ounce of speed he can wring out of that car.
And these attacks have to come sooner than later. You cannot wait till the tires are worn. So, although you might think you're at the end of the race, you're going to see
Pasalaco into the fence.
Uh-oh.
Hard contact with the 6 to the outside wall, shoots him way down the track. Loses a little bit of time, but he's right back to the back bumper of the 76 of Heitman. But I tell you what, man, I don't know about you, Al, but I'm sitting here and I feel like I just took a time machine back to 2003 because it looks like it's about to get antsy here.
It's already antsy, and it's antsy all around the racetrack, which could actually kind of help play into this lead battle. As I'm watching guys in the back try to make their way to the front. I'm watching guys try to keep their themselves alive on the lead lap, to include my pick for this thing, Greg Wachinski. And remember what Greg said, if he can't win, he's going to start to reckon. And the leaders are coming up on him. So, hey, we're going to be definitely watching to see if that comes to fruition.
Here he comes with a bumper in 3 and 4. A huge shot to the back of the 76 of Heitman, but Heitman's not going to be budged by it a bit. Pasalaco was still desperately trying to find some kind of way past that machine in front of him. And a little bit behind him, I think Paul Hill said, you know what, these two are going to race the hell of each other, and something's going to happen. I'm going to step back and make sure that I'm able to finish this thing and see if I can't find a way to steal it from them or at least save tires in the process.
Yeah, we saw it happen. That's exactly what Brandon Pasalaco just did in the last stage. So best believe that that's what Paul Hill's going to do. He has stepped back. He is not in the race fray. These two are still going at it hard, though. And like I said, they have got to make that pass. They got to make it stick now because you have no chance of passing this guy.
Here he comes again to the quarter. And 1-2, a late apex dive bomb. That's a risky move, but he's going to make it stick. They're both going to get through okay. And side by side down the Boeing backstretch again into 3. Who's going to come out with it this time? Pasalaco edges forward through the entry. A little bit of door contact to break up Heitman. But Heitman going to use the momentum again. That outside line is just cooked for that 76 machine as he works his way out of turn 4.
So give it one more go here, guys.
One more go?
At least, I mean, you got to keep working until you can't work it. I mean, this is one of those situations where he has got to turn those good years into bad years.
Well, here's the question, though. Where's the point where Pasalaco's patience is finally going to give out and he's going to start throwing the horn to the back of the 76 machine? You know it's going to happen at some point.
And I think he can do that this week a lot, with a lot less guilt.
Next, he had one stolen last week. Here he comes, trying to dive it again at the bottom of 2. But not able to make it stick this time. He's really got to... Look,
We're running out of time.
We got 13 laps left, man. He's got to take about 4 or 5 laps. Let those tires cool down a little bit and try to make another stab at it. I feel like if he just stays, stays this close to the flame, he's going to burn himself out here.
Well, Brandon's going to do just that. I mean, I don't see him letting this go And if he were to kind of lay off and let the tires cool, that's just going to possibly make it just get a little bit more unattainable. You got to go while you know you're still hot, and here he comes, giving it another shot.
Into 3, Heitman taking the outside, almost up against the nosebleeds, using the momentum to pull past Passalacqua. The 83 machine, going to be a true gentleman, dive out of the way, let these leaders have their battle. As you see the Tide Ride fall back, losing a lap, but keeping it clean.
That's been the name of the game, hasn't it, though, over these past couple of laps, though, keeping it clean. We haven't had too much going on, aside from some aggressive attempts at passing. We haven't had too much going on in this race in terms of actual yellow flags, I can safely say, as we get closer to the end here. And again, knocking on wood, it's been a sight to see. These guys got sailed into their groove. They kept it. Most of them did. A few of them decided to shake things up a little, but we have
wobble for Heitman.
One. Uh-oh.
There was a big wobble in center for Heitman, and Passalacqua almost got to get to him. But Passalacqua gets up in the arrow wash from the 76 machine, tightens up the nose on the car, and he loses all advantage coming down the back straightaway. But they are still locked together just about coming out of turn 4. But Heitman's going to lead again.
It's amazing how hard these two have been battling each other, yet look at the distance they've been able to maintain even against Paul Hill in third place. Now having some 5-second advantage over him. But look, here comes Brandon Passalacqua down to the inside again. Well, he showed it, but now he's back to the inside. Will he make one more move, and will it come sooner than later, or is he going to have to sit out and wait until everything cools down?
He gets loose in 3 and 4. He was setting up for a good charge on the front straightaway, but the back end crosses over on him, just about looped it, lost a lot of momentum down the back straightaway, or down the front straightaway, but here he is. Going to sail it deep into 1, try to close up the advantage a bit, and I think 1 and 2 is where he's better than Heitman right now. I think he's a little bit better in 3 and 4, but Heitman's just comparable enough to be able to be a nuisance. But in 1 and 2, I really think that's 6 machines set and sail.
Man, these guys, if I'm these guys, I'm hoping that something behind me happens that's going to bring out the caution here with 10 to go. Everybody's praying for a miracle.
Yeah.
Passalacqua, a 10th quicker that lap. A 30.261 to Heitman's 30.320.
There they go. We've got only a couple of laps left at this point, folks. We're looking at less than 10 laps. So if you haven't yet, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that bell.
I think Passalacqua's knocked the good out of those tires, though, because he's hitting the hospital hop coming out of turn 4. I think this thing might be in the hands of Heitman now at this point, assuming he doesn't get in trouble with these lap cars in front of him. But everybody's been so cordial today, I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, cordial has been a good way to put it. Respectful, you know.
But
everyone's racing so far pretty respectfully.
Yeah, but further behind the leaders, guys, real racing continues, and I don't want to say real racing like the race for the lead isn't real racing, but it's usually that wreck that happens further back in the pack, and I'm looking for it right now. I really don't see it. I see a lot of guys that are just kind of just tired right now, and I don't know if the lady in black just kind of came out swinging, but it looks like we just got a bunch of guys that are just trying to get these next 8 laps in the books.
Advantage growing lap by lap here. Passalacqua not able to close. A little bit of advantage through 1 and 2 as you see Heitman starting to get kind of held up by a lap car in front of him coming in turn 3. He's going to dive it deep to the bottom. And
ooh, lap car's in the wall.
That's
good. It was a good time. Yeah, that was a good time for Heitman to catch him. Not the best for Passalacqua. Didn't really have the exit on 4 like he needed, which is going to hurt him again. Another 2 tenths thrown out the window.
The clock is ticking right now for Passalacqua, up 7 from where he started. Derek Heitman exactly where he started right now. Paul Hill in 3rd, also where he started. So right now, kind of all eyes are on Brendan Passalacqua to see what he thinks he can get done. There's some other races going on a little bit further back, though, as well. Let's not forget those. because there are still positions to be made up during this. Remember, the top 10 all get points.
And also, remember, 5 laps to go. Oh, hard into the wall, the 12 machine.
Everybody gets
Heavy
points at the
contact.
end, Joe.
What was that, buddy?
Everybody gets points at the end. I mean, it just depends on how many
everybody
points you
does,
get.
yeah. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Yeah. I forgot everyone earns points, not just the top 10.
Not going to do you any good, though. If you can't cash them in, you really got to get yourself in a position that those points actually start to count to something with 4 laps to go. Derek Heitman, he's in a position where they count. Brandon Passalacqua, another guy whose name is in the ring there, and Paul Hill. Paul definitely putting on a good show here tonight. A 3rd place podium finish potentially is nothing to slouch at, and also fastest lap overall for Paul Hill.
And Passalacqua
not bad.
falling back even deeper now, 0.8 of a second separating him from Heitman. Based on the metrics here, it's pretty much guaranteed, unless Derek beats himself here or a caution comes out, that he's going to probably walk away the winner here at the Darlington Speedway, but not without a fight. Passalacqua put on such a hard charge here in these closing laps. Just too many laps being, pinched down on the bottom. I think he just wore those tires out, and once they go, they're gone.
I was just watching the Jaybirds over on Jaybird Street with 2 to go. They're tweeting, but I don't think it's going to be a factor.
The tweeting of the birds isn't going to factor into Derek Hyman's finisher?
Nope, not those birds over on Jaybird Street. Looks like it's just going to be the first 3 birds that matter here tonight.
Roger that.
Into 3. Out of turn 4, Derek Heitman coming to take the white flag. Next flag ends the race here at the Darlington Speedway. Dominated the first stage, kind of out to lunch the second one. Through a little bit of luck from Patrick Gator having some issues. And one heck of a fight, one heck of a battle that could have gone either way for about 10, 15 laps between him and Brandon Passalacqua. Everything working out, though, for the 76 machine as he sends it down to turn 3 through 4 for the final time onto the front straightaway at the start-finish line. Derek Heitman is going to get it done here at Darlington. He's going to be the one to conquer the track too tough to tame.
All right. Derek Heitman.
And I'll tell you what, man, he is probably soaked in sweat. Every part of him's probably aching. Those were the most tense 30-some laps. You see him get the congratulatory bump from the 6 machine of Brandon Passalacqua here, and a little bit of a jerk back and forth. These two fought hard, and they raced each other clean at the same time. There's no harm, no foul between those two. That was a great race that these two gentlemen put on for us this evening.
Truly it was. They really did. It was back and forth. There's a lot of action at the front for the entire race, which is something you don't always see.
I'll tell you what, man, that's what I love about this track. You see people come down pit road and get differences on the tires, and you see different drivers save better than others. At the end, man, it always feels like it just comes down to that here at Darlington. Doesn't matter what series we're here in. Cup Series, Xfinity, trucks, leagues. Every time we come here on iRacing, it's a good show this last 30 laps.
Well, folks, let's rate this burnout. What do you think?
I was just sitting there saying I didn't have the mic pressed, but I was like, "Oh, Derek, that's a solid one right there, and a solid indeed." I'm just saying, if a man that doesn't know how to control these cars, I appreciate the way he controlled that car.
I gotta give him props. Last night we covered the NIS, and his teammate Conklin got a 3 out of 5. I gotta go. Let's see the volume of smoke from that for the 76 machine. Pretty solid. I'd say that's about a 9. Car control, excellent. Give him a 10. Man, we're gonna make it a 4.5 gold stars out of 5 tonight.
All right, sounds like a pretty respectable score. Let's look at the top 10 real quick, and we'll take a short break before we do our interviews. The unofficial top 10, breaking it down. First, Derek Heitman. Second, Brandon Passalacqua. Third, Paul Hill. Fourth, Josh Schaffner. Fifth, Chris Crosby. Sixth, Vincent Crowe. Seventh, Brian Johnson. Eighth, John Binder. Ninth, Randy Belk. And 10th, Mark Sanchez.
11th is going to be Matt DeCiani with Sean Signor in 12th. 13th place shows Greg Carr, 14th Greg Wachinski, 15th Greg Hone with Jose Medina in 16th, 17th Tim Wortman Jr., 18th Randy Drumhiller, 19th Dave Hughes Jr., and Richard Kleiman rounds out the top 20.
In 21st place, we got Nick King with Jeremy Clapper Newell in 22nd. 23rd, going to be Alexander Carr with Chuck Burley bringing it home 24th. 25th place, after heartbreak early, Kenny Powell, followed by Patrick Gitter with some kind of an issue after dominating the second half of the entire race. 27th place is going to be David Gervais. In 28th, Jerry Walters. What a night, man.
That's it for the list here. It was a wild night. Phew, I need a breather. So we're going to take a short ad break, and when we get back, we're going to do some interviews to wrap things up.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
It's gonna get hot today. Grab an ice cold sun drop and show us how you drop it.
Drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot.
And drop it.
Cause I got it going on. Drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot.
A thirst-quenching citrus soda just dropped, coast to coast. Sun drop.
That's how you drop it. Drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot.
Welcome back, everybody, to the ISCA Super Cup Series live. We are just about to start some interviews here. We just saw Derek Heitman take it away here at Darlington. But let's go ahead and start by passing it off to my good friend Sheldon Atkins, who is going to be speaking with third place Paul Hill. Take it away, Sheldon.
Well, you're my pick tonight. Qualified third, finished third. Got a couple laps led there, and you had my number one pick for paint scheme this evening with a beautiful Ron Hornaday throwback from, I believe, 2002, I want to say it was.
That's
Dr.
correct.
Pepper machine looked hooked up tonight, man.
I appreciate it. And I wish I would have had something there for Brandon and Derek. I tried to play the long game, but I don't want to blame it, but I'm type 1 diabetic, and my sugar went low. So I had to call in reinforcements. So I want to give my wife a shout out too. She came running in here with apple juice to bail me out. So the last 15, 20 laps there were an episode for me. So I'm pretty happy with the third right now.
Man, I can barely make it through, 15 laps here feeling perfectly fine. I can't imagine doing it with your sugar dropping. That had been a nightmare, but doing a heck of a job staying strong and keeping fit, man. There with those about 30 laps to go, it looked like you were in the catbird seat to sneak this thing away from those two, because they were getting really dicey up there battling for the lead. Tell me what was running through your head there in those last couple laps. Did you think you had a shot with those two almost beating and banging off each other?
I was hoping so. I went long. I kind of used them early. I think I put down the fastest lap, and I think I should have just let the new tires do their job, but just kind of a lapse of judgment on that, and I think I could have capitalized a little better. But I mean, heck of a race by everyone. Limited cautions, really great long green flag runs. It was a lot of fun. I can't even be upset. I wish I would have had something there at the end. I just kind of played my cards wrong, kind of banking on a couple things and pushing a little bit harder than I should have early, and that's on me. I can't even be upset.
Well, man, you definitely put together one heck of a show tonight, and man, that paint scheme, that's pristine. That brings back nostalgia. I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, just sitting around looking at those old obscure 2000s Busch Series cars was always one of my favorite things growing up. But aside from all that, man, who all do you want to thank and shout out for this one?
Oh, I want to shout out my wife first and foremost for bailing me out. Usually I'm more disciplined, but I had a little bit of a oopsies there with low sugar mid-race. I want to blame everyone for keeping it green for so long. I couldn't even take a break if I wanted to, which is a good problem to have tonight. So I want to give her a shout out. Tim and all the guys that have been letting me hang out with them during these races over there at Warrior Racing. Those guys have been awesome, real friendly group. And you guys up in the booth, and Kenny for putting on the week.
Well, Paul, thank you for coming up here and sitting with us, and looking forward to seeing what you get done next week, man. You're getting closer and closer every week, it feels, and I feel like it's about high time that you're going to be able to strike and get that thing knocked away for you. Either way, I'm going to hand it over. No problem, man. I'm going to hand it over to, I believe it's going to Joe Lowe next, or is it going to Big Al? With our second place finisher, Brandon Pasalacqua, after another excellent performance.
It's going over to Big Al.
Hey, Brandon, Big Al up in the booth. You got me.
I got you, Big Al. How are you?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. It's been a while since I got to talk to you. I got shoveled out of the number one spot, and that's where you're usually at. Tonight, you came in number two, so how's it feel for holding it down?
Yeah, it's good. Darlington, a few years ago, was my least favorite track because I was terrible at it, and then the last few years I've gotten a little bit better, and thanks to Randy and the guys at Paradigm and Josh, I've been able to kind of figure out my groove here, and last year really showed it, finishing I believe 5th in the spring and then winning the race in the fall. So just got a good groove here now, which it feels nice, and I just need the it's nice to have these long green flag runs. It allows tire management to come into a play, which I think puts on the best show for everyone. So yeah, it's just a great track to race at.
Yeah, definitely great opportunities to see you guys when your strategies totally get a chance to play out. And Brandon, like you said, you've been doing this thing for a couple of years. I've been watching you for a couple of years, and man, you came here tonight and it just seemed like, it seems like you're at one with your horse. And I know that's a big deal, especially on tracks like this. Can you talk to that a little bit about the confidence that you've actually picked up, especially since you've kind of joined your new team?
Yeah, definitely. This being the 3rd year in the league, and this is, I want to sound like hype man, where it's my first time at a track, but now I'm coming back to all these tracks for a 3rd, 4th time in the league, and you understand kind of how the weather and the track states work, and you have your base setups that you've had forever, and you just keep tweaking on them, so it makes it a lot easier to be confident going into the race. Plus with a lot of practice, and the guys at Paradigm helped me tremendously. So I don't like the style of racing, it's balls to the wall all the time. So when we got here, I was very happy we get these long runs. I don't have the pace, short run speed as a lot of these guys, and so if I understand that if I'm going to win the race, it's going to be me managing the long run, and usually when there's a long run I do pretty well, but damn, with these shootouts, that's definitely an area I need to improve on.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Where are we going next week, Kobe?
Bristol.
Oh, Bristol, so back down to the short track. That's actually one of my favorites. And this time it's actually not in dirt. You've probably seen that here enough. So what are you guys' thoughts going into that? Because you don't have a lot of data, but you do know it's a short track under rather cool conditions. So what can we expect to see coming out of your camp next week?
Yeah, we have good cars there. I won in 2023 in the fall race there. Brian won last year in the fall race, and the only thing with Bristol is that you just have to stay out of it. It's like a super speedway, so the beginning of the race is going to be chaotic. I will ask at the league to mind their P's and Q's. I think, the beginning of the league, we're all excited. We have new guys here, but let's take care of each other, get green flag runs. That's the most enjoyable thing. You can't get that on the service. So I will put that out there as a goal for us as a league and to take care of each other. And yeah, you just got to manage your pace and just be there at the end of the race. Bristol is definitely a fun track to race at, and excited to go there next week.
Yeah, man, definitely spoken as one of the leaders here in the league. You're actually one of the seniors here, so congratulations on that. Congratulations on a P2 here tonight, man. And who you shouting out here tonight for all of your successes?
Yeah, definitely. I just want to shout out Paul Hill for his P3 and Derek on his win. That's great. It was great battling with him. I thought I had enough pace just to go by him, and then I didn't. So I burned up my tires trying to get by him, and he did a wonderful job on protecting the lead. So congrats to him. Definitely well deserved. Shout out to my guys at Paradigm, Josh, Randy, Brian, and Chris, OB Builders, Door and Trim, Ram Welding, Fabrication, you guys in the booth, and Kenny for putting on the league.
Roger that, man. Congrats. And as I always say, don't party too hard. And we'll see you next week.
Appreciate it, Big L. Take care.
Okay, and that's going to do it for the interviews, I think, because I can't seem to see Derek Heitman in Discord right now. So that is going to do it. Big Al, how did you enjoy tonight's race?
Man, I'm going to tell you what, Joe, it did not disappoint. I kind of went high on the caution count, but these guys, they brought it back in and gave the professional show that we used to see. And next week, I'm excited to see us at Bristol. I know that track this time of year holds nothing short of a great show, man. And, yeah, man, wow, excited. That's all. That's the one word I could use to wrap up my segment, excited.
And Sheldon, how about you, my friend?
Just get ready to hear the words slide job, and it's Bristol, baby, and it's just short track racing. That's
it's
pretty
Bristol,
much all you're going to hear next week. Now, it could either be one of the best nights we've ever seen of racing, or it could be one of the most difficult nights we've ever called up here in the booth. It just depends on how the drivers are able to cut it. But it's going to be exciting nonetheless. ISCA always puts on a great performance, and man, what a great show we got tonight here at Darlington. Looking forward to sitting up here with you guys next week. Take us on out of here, Joe.
You got it. Once again, a big shout out and thanks to Kenny Powell for putting it together. Be sure to stay up to date, as you can see on screen, with ISCARacing.com. Next week, we're going to Bristol, folks. So buckle up and stay tuned. This has been Joe LaCastro, Big Al, Sheldon Atkins, and Kobe Jordan. We'll be coming to you live next week. We'll see you then.
I found the ISCA after I'd been in the service for a long time. I'd been in iRacing for well over a decade and spent most of my time in NASCAR series, a lot of fixed racing for the most part, and really just got to a point in my iRacing career where I really wanted to get involved in open setup racing versus fixed, partially because I was just looking for a little higher level of competition, maybe a little cleaner driving, and maybe get away from some of the challenges that go along with fixed racing on the service. And it took me a while as I was really searching out leagues, because I kind of had a very specific thing I was looking for. A, I wanted to be an established league. B, I just really wanted clean, quality drivers to be racing around. And once I found the ISCA, I found out really quick that it was going to check all those boxes, and I